Apparently, me playing through the main game and keeping the save file earned us a number of goodies. About the only one that I feel that interested in is the fast Arabian horse, though, so not much of a reward. Let's get started with Hideyoshi's story here. Can we get a translation on that text that just went by? I don't think that was Japanese. Okay, we're going through a battle we've done plenty of times before, but at least the cutscene for it looks like they're gonna make some effort to make it a different experience this time. Wow, she is wasting little time trying to shut Hideyoshi down here. You'd think she'd notice that Lady No doesn't give a damn if her family gets slaughtered in the coming battle. Yes, your sword is very nice to look at, my lord.
バテレンより聞いた言葉だ。その昔、運命を前に男はそう言った。
Sir, would you mind translating what this man said? I mean, sure, I can check Google to find out. It's a saying attributed to Julius Caesar that means the die is cast. But none of your people have even heard of Rome. I like the little reminder that Nobunaga is kind of a geek when it comes to foreign stuff, but I can't help wondering why we don't see that sort of thing more often with portrayals of him. Anyway, we're on a familiar map, but at least the dialogue seems to be different enough.
できんことくらいせにゃなりやがれん。夜明けまでに城を建てて稲葉山を落とす。川沿いで木を集めてそいつを流して巣の股で受け取って城を建てるんさ。
Shouldn't we gather some wood before we start thinking of floating it downriver? You've also got the issue that the spot we're planning on building this quick castle is still in enemy hands. trying to catch up to us in terms of fighting prowess if you don't think we should be fighting here in the first place? And come to think of it, why is it that Nobunaga referenced the die being cast if No was the one actually playing around with dice before the battle? Is she as much of a nerd about foreign stuff as her husband? Or did she just know that he was planning on saying that eventually and brought that prop just for the sake of joking with him later on? Bloody hell. Just one mission into the expansion and I'm already loving how they're trying to give the same events we've gone for a few times some more life to them. And that does it. We've taken Tsunomata. Since this isn't a real-time strategy like Warcraft, we probably aren't going to be all that active in the actual building process. Bit of a shame he doesn't have that much of a role in the idea he had for this battle, especially since this is his first major accomplishment. Still, it's understandable given the graphical limits of the game as a whole and the style of play. Oh, I have an easy answer for that, my lord. They expect him to be your immediate successor when you die a long time from now. Quite a step up to go from your sandal bearer to a unifier of all of Japan. Bit of a shame, though, that Ieyasu went out starting another war to become shogun instead of Hideyoshi's son. But I severely doubt we're going to touch on that in this campaign.
検定車を使って材木庫を攻めるんじゃ。壊されんようにしっかり守れよ。
Well, it's probably going to be pretty easy to defend considering we wiped out a decent amount of the troops on this end of the map. Sure, there's this massive swarm of generic enemies on the far left side, but I don't think they're going to be too much of a factor. Assuming, of course, this version of the battle against the Saito goes about the same as the other times we've done this. If they throw something out of nowhere, I'm gonna stumble. Bit of an awkward moment where I wished we could push the siege ramp faster. Then I remembered that there's nobody pushing these things, which was then followed by remembering that ancient Japan didn't even have siege ramps. So its mere existence is a bit magical, much less the way it moves from one end of the battlefield to another. Anyway, time to take down the guy in charge of this storehouse, then try to find something to fill the time it takes for the castle to finish. Oh, but that would require you to be a more active force on the battlefield. And we all know that the most active force on the player side of a battle is the player, not any of our allies. Okay, taking down the last two officers outside of the castle should kill time well enough for us to keep things flowing at a good pace. Wait, if they open the gates, doesn't that mean we can now enter the enemy castle in return? I don't think they thought this one through all that well. Unfortunately, it's not like any of our guys are gonna take advantage of that. And since Hideyoshi wants to build that castle, of course he isn't gonna just let the enemy destroy it, while he bursts in and causes all kinds of trouble. We're not on the assault though, my lord. We're just defending a forward position. And it looks like one of the enemy officers is starting to make a move to, well, replace all the guys we've already taken down. Doubt it's anybody we know, though. Okay, my mistake. Hanbei is going to be a playable character later in the series, and his clash against Hideyoshi in this battle impresses Hideyoshi enough to hire the guy. And of course, somehow Hideyoshi teleports on top of the newly built castle for the cutscene. The hell? Okay, apparently we've got a bit of an error with the subtitles here. Very odd considering it's just a copy and paste of a short cutscene we've seen plenty other times in the main game. Hopefully we won't have too many other subtitle issues in this expansion, but this cutscene is certainly making me a little nervous. Hopefully we won't see that sort of thing in more important parts of this campaign. Or maybe that's just part of the reason why Samurai Warriors 2 didn't bother giving the option to play with the original Japanese audio with English subtitles. They were worried they'd run into that problem again. Kinda disappointed Hideyoshi didn't say anything after defeating Hanbei then, even if the guy is still a generic officer at this point in the series. Now, let's deal with the other officers between us and Yoshitatsu. Okay, so apparently we get a different style of intro cutscene when enemy officers show up. Still breaks the flow of combat by an annoying degree, especially considering combat is the main draw of the game and this entire genre. Please don't tell me they gave him an exit cutscene as well. Good. That's the same annoying thing that we've gotten tired of. Some fresh annoyance for the sake of making things look a little different for this expansion. Personally, I think we could have done with removing that back altogether. Is there any reason why they decided to make the intro of officers that we're supposed to defeat multiple times over the course of the game longer with their intros anyway? I'm pretty sure we just took Ranmaru down faster than it took for him to introduce himself. I believe taking control of the entire country and establishing a short period of peace is going to be payment enough. Though it's going to be very awkward, considering Hideyoshi as the peaceful one of the three, when he's the one who decided to invade Korea. That and his absolute brutality against any Christians in Japanese soil are just swept under the rug in the Samurai Warriors games, as far as I remember. I know the games are trying to portray him as some amazing ruler, given the limits of what the game can actually show. It's not like we're gonna see anything that can tell us how the economy is doing, or anything to that effect. Still, if Nobunaga and Ieyasu get enough of a characterization that can be construed as good or evil, depending on whose side you're on, why does Hideyoshi get this kind of treatment that takes away his two most villainous actions? None of Japan's three unifiers was a saint in any stretch of the imagination, and acting like Hideyoshi was as close to a saint as you can get just doesn't work for me out of it. Probably because I know too much of the actual history of what happened, and feel it helps make the man more interesting and complicated than we end up seeing in this series. Sorry, but I'm just not a fan of even when things are set in American history when they do that sort of thing. And I am not a fan of when things set in Japanese history just remove the contentious facts from the equation either. And that does it! The first mission of the expansion is complete. So far it could be better, but it did its job. I want to see where they go with this.